When Blair and I got married, I gained a stepson named Connor, and he's awesome. I've known him since he was 2 years old. Then we wanted to have several kids. McKay was the easiest baby ever. We instantly thought, oh, we could do this again. With Sutton and the pregnancy, I thought everything would be the exact same.
We didn't expect anything like what happened.
After Sutton was born, I started having chills, and I had excessive bleeding, and my temperature spiked to 103.
And they said, well, it looks like you have strep A.
You know, I was asked by one of the doctors if I'd had a sore throat in advance, and I said, no, I felt, perfectly healthy going into the hospital.
Never in my mind at that point did I connect two and two together and think, well, if she's sick, maybe he's sick.
He was making these cute little noises. To a new mom, it's like the cutest sound you've ever heard.
It was around midnight, and the nurse came in and said, has he been making that noise all night? That's a sign of respiratory distress. Is he getting enough oxygen to his brain?
They were admitting him to the NICU, and that's kind of the point where everything's going downhill.
It's an absolute, total feeling of helplessness.
We got a phone call from the pediatrician, and he said, we're gonna have to do a spinal tap because we think he has meningitis. Blair and I both just kind of broke down.
It was clear, so we're like, thank God, but it was gut-wrenching.
So he was on antibiotics, and after 3 or 4 days, he seemed to be doing much better.
It looked like we were gonna get to take him home on the 7th day. But then disaster struck again, and his belly button got infected.
That was a really hard day.
And that just crushed me. And I said, we have to get him out of here. He's gonna keep getting sick the longer he stays in here.
You have these moments where you think he's not gonna make it, and it's just your worst nightmare. Sutton was in the NICU for 16 days. The doctors never really figured out what Sutton had. They just knew that he had 2 different infections.
It was a realization of what can happen and what can go wrong. Will he live?
These infections are everywhere in hospitals, and I think the experience in the NICU really opened your eyes.
If a nurse or a doctor came into a room and I saw them not wash their hands, I would absolutely say something right away. You go a little bit overboard after something like that happens to your baby.